Let's talk strictly about the topic. When we discuss the meats seniors should avoid, processed meats deserve to be at the top of the list. By processed meats, we mean items like hot dogs, sausages, deli slices, bacon, salami, and anything preserved with salt, nitrates, or artificial additives. These foods may seem convenient, tasty, or familiar, but the reality is that they often deliver far more harm than good, especially for seniors whose bodies are already more sensitive to the effects of salt, chemicals, and unhealthy fats. Processed meats are not just ordinary cuts of meat, they are altered and preserved to extend shelf life and flavor. The process usually involves curing, smoking, or heavy seasoning. Each of these steps adds ingredients the body doesn't truly need, such as excessive sodium or chemical preservatives. For someone over 60, the effects of consuming these foods are magnified because the body's ability to regulate fluid, blood pressure, and inflammation naturally weakens with age. That means every slice of deli ham or every hot dog comes with hidden costs for circulation, heart function, and joint health. The main issue with processed meats is their sodium content. Seniors are more vulnerable to high blood pressure, which can quietly damage arteries, strain the heart, and increase the risk of strokes. Just one serving of a typical processed meat can contain nearly half a day's worth of sodium. It's easy to underestimate this because these foods are often eaten in sandwiches or paired with bread, cheese, and condiments, all of which add even more salt. Over time, this steady intake works against the body rather than for it. Cutting back on processed meats is not about removing pleasure from food, but about reducing the quiet, invisible damage happening every time they are consumed. Another serious concern is the presence of nitrates and nitrates chemicals added to preserve color and flavor. These compounds may sound harmless, but inside the body they can form substances linked to cancer risk, particularly colorectal cancer. For seniors, who may already be managing multiple health concerns, adding unnecessary risk from these chemicals is something worth avoiding. Unlike fresh cuts of meat, which contain only natural proteins and fats, processed meats carry an added layer of chemical burden that serves no nutritional purpose. Choosing to reduce them is one of the simplest ways to protect long-term health. Processed meats are also typically high in saturated fats. While fat itself is not the enemy, the type of fat matters. Saturated fats found in these meats can raise cholesterol levels, leading to plaque buildup in arteries. This not only narrows blood flow but also makes the heart work harder, which is especially concerning for older adults whose cardiovascular systems are more fragile. Every bite may feel small, but over time, these bites accumulate into patterns that shape health outcomes. Seniors who limit or avoid processed meats often experience steadier energy levels, healthier blood pressure readings, and fewer joint problems linked to inflammation. Now, one might ask, is it really necessary to cut out these foods entirely? The answer depends on the individual's goals. For seniors aiming to preserve mobility, independence, and heart strength, even reducing intake makes a significant difference. Substituting processed meats with fresh alternatives, such as grilled chicken, turkey, or even plant-based proteins, means the body receives the protein it needs without the added harm of preservatives and excess sodium. It's about making smart swaps, not creating feelings of restriction or sacrifice. Another point to keep in mind is that taste preferences can adapt. Seniors who gradually reduce processed meats often find that fresh foods become more satisfying over time. The natural flavors of fresh meat, fish, or beans stand out once the taste buds are no longer overwhelmed by salt and additives. What once felt like a necessary indulgence begins to feel heavy, and lighter options start to feel more energizing. This shift not only supports health but also restores enjoyment in eating. It is also worth noting that many health organizations, including the World Health Organization, classify processed meats as harmful when consumed regularly. This is not a warning based on trends or diet fads. It is grounded in long-term studies that track real outcomes. The evidence consistently shows that limiting processed meats contributes to better heart health, reduced cancer risk, and overall improved longevity. For seniors, who are already at a stage where maintaining health is vital for quality of life, these choices are more impactful than ever. So when we look closely, the advice is clear. Processed meats may be common, but they are not harmless. They bring salt, fat, and chemicals that work against the body instead of supporting it. Seniors who step away from these foods are not depriving themselves. They are giving their bodies the chance to function more smoothly, to move with greater ease, and to protect their health with each meal. The difference is not always immediate, but over weeks and months, the benefits accumulate and become undeniable. This understanding leads naturally to the next important question. If processed meats are so harmful, then what kinds of meats should seniors be choosing instead? The answer opens up a new and encouraging conversation, one where the focus shifts from danger to nourishment, from restriction to empowerment, and from avoiding harm to actively building strength. And that's exactly what comes next. You said? Let's talk strictly about the topic. The second key point revolves around red meats that are high in unhealthy fats. especially when consumed in large quantities or in heavily marbled cuts such as ribeye, T-bone, or prime-grade steaks. While red meat has been a staple in many diets for generations, offering protein, iron, and B vitamins, the problem lies in the type of fat it contains and the way it interacts with an aging body. Seniors, in particular, need to pay close attention, because their cardiovascular and metabolic systems do not function with the same efficiency as in younger years. The primary issue with fatty red meats is their high content of saturated fats. These fats raise levels of LDL cholesterol, often referred to as the bad cholesterol, which can accumulate in arteries and restrict blood flow. Over time, this buildup hardens the arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis, which is a major risk factor for heart attacks and strokes. For seniors already at a higher baseline risk due to age, consuming fatty red meat regularly compounds the problem, adding strain to the heart and reducing circulation to vital organs and limbs. The effects are not always immediate, but they develop silently and progressively, often without obvious warning signs until it's too late. Another layer of concern is inflammation. Diets rich in fatty red meat have been linked to chronic inflammation in the body, which plays a role in joint pain, stiffness, and degenerative conditions like arthritis. Seniors often already deal with mobility issues or discomfort in their joints, and consuming foods that heighten inflammation only worsens these challenges. By reducing fatty red meat, seniors can support their joints and muscles in staying more flexible and less burdened by constant low-grade inflammation. It's also important to consider digestion. As the body ages, digestion naturally slows, and foods heavy in fat can become difficult to process efficiently. This often leads to bloating, discomfort, or sluggishness after meals. Instead of leaving a person energized, a fatty steak dinner may leave them feeling weighed down. This isn't just about comfort, it's about how food choices directly affect daily energy levels, alertness, and the ability to remain active. A body that digests more icily is a body that has more energy to move, walk, and engage in life's activities. Another issue worth discussing is the link between fatty red meats and certain cancers. Research suggests that high intake of these meats, particularly when cooked at high temperatures like grilling or frying, can lead to the formation of harmful compounds. These compounds may increase the risk of colorectal cancer, which is already a significant concern for people over 60. While occasional consumption may not be devastating, regular indulgence builds up risk that could otherwise be minimized by better choices. Now, none of this means red meat must be completely abandoned. The point is not to demonize all red meat, but rather to focus on how it is consumed. Leaner cuts, like sirloin or tenderloin, carry much less saturated fat while still delivering the protein and nutrients seniors need. Portion sizes also matter. Smaller amounts of lean red meat, eaten occasionally, can be part of a balanced diet. The key is awareness and moderation, rather than treating fatty red meat as an everyday food. By making thoughtful choices, seniors can enjoy the flavor and tradition of red meat without carrying the same health risks that come with the fattier cuts. Another helpful perspective is to look at the alternatives. Poultry, fish, and plant-based proteins often deliver the same nutritional benefits without the dangerous fats and chemicals. By substituting fatty red meats with these lighter proteins, even a few times a week, seniors allow their bodies to recover from the strain of high saturated fat intake. Over time, this adds up to better heart health, smoother digestion, and improved energy levels. The body begins to feel less burdened, and the benefits become noticeable not only in medical readings like blood pressure and cholesterol, but in daily life, from the ease of walking upstairs to the comfort of moving without joint stiffness. What makes this point crucial is the ripple effect of food choices. When seniors cut down on fatty red meats, they often make room for healthier foods, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins that work synergistically to protect the heart, strengthen muscles, and stabilize energy. This simple shift doesn't just reduce harm, it actively builds resilience. The act of choosing better cuts or smaller portions becomes an act of empowerment, a way of saying yes to longevity and independence. So, when we examine fatty red meats closely, the truth is clear. They carry risks that outweigh their benefits. When eaten frequently or in large amounts, the focus then is not on eliminating joy or tradition from meals, but on choosing wisely so that each bite works in favor of health rather than against it. The path forward is one of balance, moderation, and smarter substitutions that preserve both taste and well-being. And this naturally leads to the next important question. If fatty red meats weigh the body down and increase risks, then what meats should seniors turn to that actually lift the body up, energize it, and protect it? That is where the discussion becomes truly empowering, and it's exactly where we'll go next, you said. Let's talk strictly about the topic. The third key point focuses on processed meats, foods like sausages, bacon, hot dogs, deli slices, and cured hams. These meats are not only high in unhealthy fats, but they also undergo heavy processing, with added salts, preservatives, and chemicals that make them especially harmful to seniors. The dangers here are not subtle. Each bite of processed meat delivers compounds that actively work against the body's ability to remain strong, mobile, and resilient with age. Understanding why this matters is essential, because many seniors continue to eat these foods daily out of habit, convenience, or taste, without realizing the price their bodies pay over time. The first major issue is sodium. Processed meats are loaded with salt, far beyond what the body actually needs. While salt enhances flavor and extends shelf life, it raises blood pressure significantly when consumed in excess. For seniors, high blood pressure is not a small matter. It is a leading driver of strokes, heart attacks, and kidney disease. Arteries lose elasticity with age, and too much sodium accelerates this decline, forcing the heart to pump harder against resistance. The long-term result is not just numbers on a blood pressure monitor, but real damage to organs and circulation. Even small daily servings of deli meat or bacon can push sodium intake well past safe limits, making these foods dangerous in ways that are easy to underestimate. The second concern is preservatives, particularly nitrates and nitrites. These are chemicals added to processed meats to maintain color and prevent bacterial growth. On the surface they seem harmless, but when cooked or digested, they can convert into compounds called nitrosamines. These compounds have been strongly linked to cancer, especially colorectal cancer. Seniors already at higher risk due to age place themselves in even greater danger when they consume processed meats regularly. Unlike natural meats, where the concern is mostly fat content, processed meats carry an extra layer of risk because of what has been added to them artificially. Beyond sodium and preservatives, processed meats are typically higher in saturated fats than lean cuts of fresh meat. This adds to cholesterol buildup in the arteries, stiffening them and reducing blood flow to the legs, heart, and brain. The impact is felt not only in lab results but also in daily function. Seniors who regularly eat these foods often experience fatigue, slower circulation, swelling in the legs, or reduced stamina. It may not be obvious that the food is the culprit, but over time, the connection becomes undeniable. The foods themselves are designed for convenience and taste, not for health, and that trade-off comes at a steep cost. Another critical factor is inflammation. Processed meats contribute to chronic inflammation in the body. This doesn't appear overnight but builds silently, showing up as joint stiffness, muscle aches, or even cognitive decline. For seniors striving to maintain independence and mobility, anything that feeds inflammation works directly against those goals. Instead of supporting strong legs and clear thinking, these meats become a silent barrier, limiting energy and causing more discomfort. It's also worth noting that processed meats are often calorie-dense but nutrient-poor. They may fill the stomach, but they don't provide the vitamins, minerals, or antioxidants the body needs to repair and regenerate. For seniors, where every calorie counts more toward maintaining muscle, bone strength, and energy, this is a poor trade-off. Eating processed meat means giving up room for foods that could actually heal and strengthen the body. In effect, it's not only what these meats do wrong, but also what they fail to deliver that makes them so damaging. Some may argue that eating these foods occasionally is harmless, and in truth, occasional indulgence might not cause lasting harm. The real issue is frequency. Many seniors have grown accustomed to daily bacon at breakfast, cold cuts at lunch, or sausages at dinner. When this pattern repeats over weeks, months, and years, the cumulative harm becomes clear. The body cannot fully recover when it is constantly bombarded with sodium, preservatives, and fats that strain every system. By cutting back, even significantly reducing intake rather than eliminating it completely, seniors give their bodies a chance to heal, blood pressure a chance to stabilize, and energy levels a chance to rise again. So, when we look at processed meats through a clear lens, the conclusion is straightforward. They are not simply less healthy, they are actively harmful. Their convenience and taste disguise the deeper damage they cause. But the science and the lived experiences of countless seniors show the truth. They work against heart health, joint comfort, energy, and even longevity itself. And yet, the story doesn't stop here. If processed meats take so much away, then what kinds of meats or protein-rich foods actually give back restoring energy, strengthening circulation, and helping seniors feel stronger each day? That's the part of the journey that turns limitation into empowerment, and it's exactly where we'll go next. Let's talk strictly about the topic. The fourth key point centers on the importance of lean poultry, such as skinless chicken and turkey, as an excellent protein source for seniors. Unlike heavily processed meats or fatty cuts of red meat, lean poultry offers nourishment without the hidden dangers that strain the body. What makes poultry so valuable is not just its ability to provide protein, but the way it delivers strength, energy, and healing power in a form that is gentle on the heart, joints, and digestive system. For seniors, every meal is an opportunity to either support the body's resilience or weaken it, and poultry stands firmly on the side of restoration. Protein is the building block of muscle, and muscle strength is what allows seniors to walk confidently, climb stairs, and maintain independence. With age, muscle mass naturally declines, a condition known as sarcopenia. Eating lean poultry consistently provides the body with the amino acids it needs to repair worn tissues, build back lost muscle, and keep legs and arms strong enough to carry out daily tasks. This is not just about numbers on a nutrition label. It translates directly into the ability to stay active, steady, and mobile. A piece of grilled chicken at dinner is not only satisfying, it's a step toward maintaining freedom and dignity. Another strength of poultry lies in its lower saturated fat content compared to many red meats. Seniors often battle with cholesterol levels that rise over time, narrowing arteries and reducing circulation. Fatty meats can accelerate this process, but poultry provides the protein without overwhelming the body with harmful fats. This allows the heart to work with less strain and blood to flow more easily to the legs, brain, and organs. That improved circulation means warmer feet, less fatigue, and more oxygen delivered throughout the body. In the long run, this means a stronger heart and fewer complications tied to clogged arteries. Beyond protein and fat content, poultry is also rich in essential nutrients that support senior health. Chicken and turkey provide B vitamins like niacin and B6, which are crucial for energy production and brain health. They also contain minerals like selenium and phosphorus, which help with bone strength and immune function. Seniors often struggle with maintaining strong bones, and fractures can be light. By including poultry regularly, the body receives the raw materials it needs to preserve bone density and resist injuries that could limit mobility. Every bite does more than satisfy hunger, it actively builds protection for the future. The digestibility of poultry also plays a vital role. As the digestive system becomes more sensitive with age, heavy and greasy meats can cause discomfort, bloating, or indigestion. Poultry, when prepared properly, is far gentler on the stomach. Seniors can enjoy a nourishing meal without the after effects that make them hesitant to eat or sap their energy. The body can focus on absorbing nutrients instead of fighting to break down heavy fats or processed additives. This means meals leave seniors feeling nourished, not weighed down. Practicality is another advantage. Poultry is versatile and can be prepared in countless ways to suit different tastes and dietary needs. Whether roasted, grilled, baked, or simmered in a hearty soup, it adapts easily without losing its health benefits. This variety keeps meals interesting, which is important for seniors who may lose appetite if food becomes repetitive. A diet built around lean poultry avoids the monotony that can make healthy eating difficult to sustain. It allows seniors to enjoy flavorful meals while consistently nourishing their bodies. The shift toward poultry is not about rigid restriction, but about choosing foods that support longevity. Seniors often face the challenge of giving up long-loved foods that no longer serve their health, and that process can feel discouraging. Poultry offers a positive alternative, something to add rather than something to take away. It becomes a replacement that is satisfying, enjoyable, and healing. By embracing poultry, seniors make a choice that builds confidence in their ability to eat well without feeling deprived. This is not a complicated shift, but it is a meaningful one. A simple swap of chicken for bacon at breakfast, or turkey breast instead of processed deli meats for lunch, creates a ripple effect. Over time, those choices accumulate into stronger muscles, steadier balance, healthier circulation, and more energy. These are not distant promises. They are benefits that can be felt in daily life, from climbing stairs with less effort to enjoying a walk with greater ease. So, when we talk about lean poultry, it's clear that it represents far more than a protein source. It is a food that actively supports independence, strengthens the heart, protects the bones, and fuels the body in a way that feels light and sustaining. The role it plays is practical, powerful, and directly connected to the quality of life seniors desire. But the story of food and health doesn't end here. If poultry offers such healing strength, what other foods stand alongside it to deliver the same kind of lasting support for the body? That is the next chapter waiting to unfold, and it promises to reveal choices that can elevate health even further. Let's talk strictly about the topic. The fifth key point highlights the importance of including plant-based protein sources such as beans, lentils, and tofu into a senior's diet. These foods are often underestimated, yet they provide powerful health benefits that rival and, in some cases, surpass traditional animal-based proteins. The goal here is not to eliminate meat completely, but to recognize that plant proteins carry unique strengths, nutritional gifts that specifically support the needs of aging bodies. Plant-based proteins offer the essential amino acids needed to maintain muscle mass, repair tissues, and support energy levels. For seniors, this is especially critical because muscle naturally declines with age. When daily meals include foods like lentils, chickpeas, or black beans, they deliver protein in a form that also brings along fiber, antioxidants, and essential minerals. Unlike some meats that may burden the body with excess fat or additives, these plant sources nourish without strain. Every serving helps seniors maintain strength in their legs and arms, which translates into the ability to move with confidence, lift with ease, and stay independent longer. The fiber content of plant proteins deserves special attention. Seniors often struggle with digestive issues, constipation, or irregularity all of which can sap energy and reduce appetite. Beans and lentils provide not just protein but also soluble fiber, which supports smooth digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and keeps cholesterol in check. This combination as powerful meals become easier on the stomach while simultaneously protecting the heart and improving circulation. Better digestion also means better absorption of nutrients from other foods, creating a ripple effect that elevates overall health. Another strength of plant-based proteins is their impact on heart health. Diets rich in beans, lentils, and soy products like tofu have consistently been shown to reduce harmful cholesterol levels and lower blood pressure. For seniors, whose risk of cardiovascular disease is naturally higher, these foods act as natural protectors. They provide protein without the artery-clogging saturated fats found in processed or fatty meats. As a result, blood flows more freely to the legs, brain, and heart itself, delivering oxygen and nutrients that keep the body vibrant and functioning smoothly. The connection between circulation and mobility cannot be overstated. Stronger circulation directly supports stronger legs. The minerals found in plant-based proteins further add to their value. Magnesium, potassium, and iron, often abundant in beans and lentils, play roles in muscle contraction, nerve function, and energy production. These minerals help reduce cramps, support endurance, and prevent the fatigue that so often limits activity in older age. Iron, particularly from lentils and beans, supports the production of healthy red blood cells, which transport oxygen throughout the body. For seniors, this means more energy for walking, climbing stairs, or enjoying activities without feeling drained. Beyond the physical benefits, plant-based proteins are affordable, accessible, and easy to prepare in diverse ways. This practicality matters. Many seniors live on fixed incomes, and costly foods can make healthy eating feel like a burden. But beans, lentils, and tofu are budget-friendly and versatile. They can be seasoned to suit different tastes, blended into soups, added to salads, or served as the main protein in a meal. Their adaptability prevents diet fatigue and keeps meals enjoyable, which increases the likelihood of maintaining these healthier choices long-term. The gentleness of plant-based proteins on the body is another advantage. For seniors who may experience digestive sensitivity, heavy meats can feel overwhelming. Plant proteins, when cooked properly, are easier to process and leave the body feeling lighter, not sluggish. Meals built on beans or tofu provide satisfaction without the discomfort of bloating or heaviness. This means seniors can eat confidently, knowing that food is supporting their health instead of working against it. It is also worth noting the long-term protection these foods provide. Studies consistently show that diets rich in plant proteins are linked to lower risks of chronic diseases, including diabetes, hypertension, and even certain cancers. For seniors who want to not only live longer but live well, these foods are a defense against the very conditions that threaten independence and quality of life. Each serving of beans or tofu is not just about today's energy, but also about tomorrow's health. Choosing plant-based proteins is not about restriction, it is about expansion. It is about giving the body new tools to thrive, adding variety to meals, and creating balance. Seniors who embrace these foods are not missing out. They are gaining energy, stability, and protection. This shift is empowering because it puts control back into their hands. With every bite of lentils or beans, they are actively choosing health and resilience. So when we think about plant-based proteins, we are not just talking about substitutes for meat. We are talking about foods that stand on their own as powerful sources of strength, healing, and vitality. They are allies for the senior body, nourishing in ways that are both gentle and profound. And if plant-based proteins can do this much, it raises the question what other everyday foods are silently carrying hidden strengths that can restore, rebuild, and protect in equally powerful ways. That next discovery is what makes the journey into food and health so compelling, and it is where the story continues.